Every club. Every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Daily Brighton podcast brought to you by the Global Sports Podcast Network. It's a wild card Wednesday. We're feeling creative. We're feeling good, even though we might not be feeling good. I am joined by Jamie G, the main man. How are you, sir?
Oh, well, I've recovered from the terrible weekend and last week, and now I'm looking ahead to the Palace game. But before that, I'm ready to have some fun on this Wildcard Wednesday and talk about something I love talking about, and that's players, like just individual players and what they're good at. You know, not the game, more about individuals.
Okay. So, as Jamie has just alluded to, in this Wildcard Wednesday, we've got a little bit of a mix and match of sort of segments. In segment 1, we are going to be talking about a certain new signing from the MLS. In segment 2, we are going to be talking about how some of our loan players have been doing. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe, And in segment 3, we are both going to pick a player who we think will be loaned out either in next window or in the summer. So, Jamie, you've been our resident scout. Diego Gomez of Inter Miami. Brighton fans have known that this signing was confirmed ages ago. We know that their season is very odd. Their season literally ended like maybe last week. What do you know about him?
Well, yeah, it's I've looked into the archives. I found some highlights on him. I'm not going to pretend like I have watched every MLS game in the world, but I have watched the highlights. And I've jotted down some notes. You know how much I love taking notes on these players.
You love taking notes on everything, mate.
Everything, to be fair. Doing rankings of series, rankings of everything. But yeah, I've been jotting down some things that I've noticed about Diego Gomez. And, well, first of all, he's Paraguayan, 21 years old, so he fits the description and criteria of what Brighton are looking for and always look for. He's a centre mid, 6'1", and plays for Paraguay and actually plays. So that'll be another player going out on international duty. Like you said off air, Joe, probably isn't hard to get into the Paraguay squad. Miguel Almiron gets into that squad. So there we go.
Yeah.
That says it all. But yeah, he looks decent. So the player comparisons that this website I found compares him to is Joel Linton, which obviously Premier League fans are similar to. And watching him play, I would say it is very similar to a Joel Linton, just maybe a smaller Joel Linton. I think Joel Linton's like 6'4" and really stocky.
Yeah.
He's got, I don't know whether you're going to remember this, but the QPR, Gary Medel.
Oh, the short, stocky
little guy,
yeah,
bloke.
Yeah.
I know he's 6'1".
That's basically you.
Yeah, obviously he's a lot taller than me and Gary Medel at 6'1", but he's got that kind of build, and he's got strength. That is one of the things that kind of sticks out when you do watch him. Defensively, he's decent. He does get involved. He's got a tenacity to win the ball, and also when he does win the ball, he's very good at putting his body in between the ball and the player, which I feel that's what Joel Linton does a lot for Newcastle. And he's so yeah, that's one of his strengths. The one thing I will say, and I'll caveat this whole segment with, it's very hard to tell how good he is because he plays in the MLS against lesser competition.
Absolutely, yes.
So it's him winning the ball, him being really good at pressing, him being tenacious and always like running at people and tackling them. These players are probably not great, let's face it, or they're below standard he's going to face in the Premier League. So will that translate? That's the biggest question with everything. So yeah, that's one of the things I noticed defensively. And then on the ball, he is good at passing. Like I would say, just from the clip, I know it's a highlights package, so it's obviously always
it's not going to be him misplacing passes.
Exactly, it's always competitive. But it does look like he's got eye for a pass, looks to play in behind a fair bit. Like him, Suarez and Messi. I mean, what better players to do some tiki-taka with? But they were
Yeah.
actually bopping it about between defenders.
Yeah, but Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez are not running in behind anymore.
No, that's a good point.
Surely.
And on that point, he's actually the one that does the running in behind. So there's a couple of
Oh.
times where he does like do late runs from midfield into the final third, and that's where Messi, the magician, the magic man himself, finds him every time. That's how
Okay.
he actually scored 3 of his goals. But yeah, I would say passing is a strength, but passing, the MLS isn't renowned for defending. I'm going to butcher the MLS again. Not renowned for defending. The gaps he's passing it into are hallways, not alleyways. Put it that way.
That's a great saying. That is a great saying. So just quickly, I just wanted to sort of pick your brains a little bit. In terms of Brighton now, let's relate it back to obviously the Seagulls. We obviously have Yao Koye out on loan. So he's another central midfielder, I'm pretty sure. Where do you see him? Do you think he's coming back to be loaned out, or do you think he's coming back to play? And where do you see him playing? What sort of combination of the two midfielders that we've been seeing? Who does he replace? Who does he pair with nicely? What do you think?
Good question, actually. Yeah, I think I think he's coming. I don't think he'll get loaned out.
He is definitely coming.
Yeah, he's definitely coming. That's guaranteed.
Yeah, that's confirmed. You've hit the nail on the head.
I don't reckon he'll get loaned out. I think it'll be interesting to see if he does get loaned out. But where Hertzler's gone to so many midfield variations, and he doesn't know, and we've said on yesterday's podcast, me and Bless, it doesn't feel like Hertzler knows his best centre-mid partnership. So I feel like Gomez will come into this mix and he'll experiment with a couple. I would say he's most similar to... He's got like the late runs of Matt O'Reilly. Yeah, like he's got that kind of attacking ability. But I would say defensively, he's like a stockier, bigger Ayari. Ayari's like a bit of a menace, isn't he? He's just like...
He is a bit. He's a disruptor.
Yeah, he just runs around.
He's very busy without sort of actually getting the ball back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's good work rate. Ayari has great work rate, and he will do all the dirty work, the hard yards, as the old cliche goes, which is what I see Gomez doing a lot of as well. So I think alongside, maybe he's there he can bolster defensively, but also offer a bit of a late run threat. So I reckon alongside Baliba or someone like that would probably be his best centre-mid partnership. I couldn't imagine him playing alongside O'Reilly, just because they seem the most similar. Yeah,
I get you. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for that. The master scout, Jamie G, giving you the insight on Diego Gomez.
If anyone wants the full scouting report, then I'll send them to it on Twitter or Instagram. You know, I've got even more notes.
They're going to be so disappointed when you've taken a picture on your phone, and it's just of a notepad. That's it. But in the next segment, we are going to be talking about some loanees, right? So stick around for that, because some of them have not been as good as others. We will see you after the break. This podcast is brought to you by the Global Sports Podcast Network, the only network bringing you exclusive daily news and views on your Premier League team, the Premier League as a whole, women's football and fantasy football. A unique listening experience that puts fans first, bringing you the very latest breaking news from your team. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and make us your first listen every day. Global Sports Podcast Network. Every club, every day. And we are back. Thank you, Joe from the past. We appreciate that. Please tell Jamie Guerra from the past that he needs to do his ad reads. Anyway, we are back. We are here talking about loanees in segment 2. And we only have 3 because there's 12. We do not have time to talk about 12. And I mean, to be fair, Kozo Dubry's injured. We don't really want to be talking about him. Carl Rushworth's injured as well. But we are going to start with the bad. Valentin Barco, the FM prodigy, who did actually play quite a bit towards the back end of the season. To mixed reviews, I think he looked okay sometimes, but I thought he also looked very lightweight, and he was getting slam dunked on at the back post like it was going out of fashion. Enciso now comes to mind. So, Guerra, let me just get up some stats for you. I'm gonna throw them off you here. I've now got the stats. I'm in control. So, in La Liga this season, he has started 3 games, but he's come off the bench in technically 4. So, and an interesting one here. Since October 6th against Real Betis, he has played 2 full 90s against Yui Olot and Las Rosas. And then he has played a combined total of 36 minutes in the league since the 6th of October. We are currently the 10th of December. Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, quite frankly, I actually thought this might be a loan move that would be pretty good for him, I don't know.
So did I.
Because I'm thinking the La Liga is a very good league. It's a very defensive league. If he wants to improve defensively, which is, I guess, what we all thought when he went there, and we kind of thought he was going to be a fullback or transition into this fullback. So it's very disappointing to see that he started for Girona. Like, it started the first game against Girona, should I say? But since then, he hasn't continued to start. So that tells me
that worries me.
Yeah, that start against Girona mustn't have been good. Or
no.
who did he play next? Espanyol or whoever it was.
What it tells me is that and this is no disrespect to him, I hope that I always say this, but I hope that if he's not playing well, he eventually starts playing well, obviously. But it does tell me that the manager has seen this Valentin Barco performance and he's hit up Tony Bloom and gone, "What are you doing, mate? What have you just what agreement have we reached here? Yeah, can I get a refund and receipt, or can you pay all of his wages?"
Hey,
so
don't disrespect him too much, Joe, because against Yui Olot and against Las Rosas, he got an 8.1 rating. So that's pretty good.
So decent, mate. Who are they? Who are these people? Who, like, no disrespect to these teams, but they're definitely not in the top 2 divisions of Spanish football. And when you go lower down in Spanish football, I don't know if people know this, but it splits off into like 2 different divisions. In like the 3rd division, there's like 4 sectors, and it gets a bit mad. So
I didn't know that myself.
No, trust me, it's a bit mad down there. But I would, I'm not.
Do you think he's getting found out defensively? I know we don't watch La Liga all the time, or much of the time, but do you reckon that's what it is? Do you reckon he's a defensive liability? And obviously Sevilla, going back to how I've seen them in Champions Leagues in the past and Europa Leagues in the past, they're very much a defensive team. I don't know if that's just because it is European football, but I feel like maybe that's where the problem is. Is it like defensively he might not be great, and that's letting the team down?
I think that, so I've sort of looked at it from a perspective of who do they have in that position, and I think his name's Pedrelas or something like that. They only have one other left back. So that tells me that he really doesn't trust him, which means that he must be doing something. There's an aspect of his game that he must be doing that he doesn't like so badly that he's willing to literally just use the one fullback. If he gets injured, then he'll probably stick a right back out there or stick a centre half out there. But that's a big thing, because you would think that, like, say if you had one who's a bit more defensive minded, that player comes in the games against your Real Madrids and your Barcelonas, but then the attacking minded one, which you imagine would be Barco, would come in sort of maybe against the lesser teams to try and break down low blocks and sort of make those overlapping runs or the underlapping runs. But obviously something is not clicking.
Yeah, I've got to say, just looking at per 90 stats, going forward, like we've always known that's in him, like he is actually pretty good in terms of chances created. He's created 1.9 chances per 90. Successful crosses is 1 successful cross per 90 as well. But yeah, I think the defensive worries or the defensive issues that we saw a bit last season have kind of played up or have come up again because he's only making 60% of tackles, I think I saw.
That's all good.
Yeah. Okay. Not great.
Right. Well, we hope that you do all right. He might get recalled. You never know. But Valentin Barco, we're sending our love out to you, brother. Anyway, on to the next player. Ibrahim Osman, currently at Feyenoord. This is sort of a player where we were going to originally speak about Buonanotte as like the good player, but we spoke about him in a crossover podcast with Leicester. So Ibrahim Osman is sort of like he's doing okay. I'll throw some stats at you again. 2 assists, 2 goals. Started 6 in the Eredivisie, and he's come on in another 3. Obviously, he's also playing Champions League football. So it's not he's being used mainly as a striker, but also being played out on the right as well. Mm-hmm. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag, I think. It's not been a lot of, I don't know how many games there have been in the Eredivisie so far, but there's obviously less teams, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So I'm a little bit curious. I haven't watched any Feyenoord in the Champions League or anything like that. So I am a little bit curious as to see what your thoughts are on him, because he's maybe one that you sort of are looking at in terms of like, we've just bought so many. Is his future here? What do you think?
Yeah, that's a very good point. Like we said when we got him, didn't we? We said, not another one. I know I've absolutely butchered that voice, but yeah. We said yet another winger. And obviously we knew a couple of them were going to be loaned out. So like the next guy that we speak about and Osman both got loaned out. And it is interesting to see like how, if he does come back, how well he will do. One thing I would say is he's at least playing a step above. Obviously, Brighton fans haven't seen him at all, like because he came straight from Nordsjælland and then got loaned straight out to Feyenoord. One thing I would say is it's at least a step up, and to see him get regular minutes is a positive as well. One of the things that does make me skeptical is, sure, he has 2 goals, 2 assists in 9 games, which on paper looks decent, but 1 goal, 2 assists came against Go Ahead Eagles. So it's 1 game that he's done very well in, and the others looks like he's like drawing blanks a bit.
I'll Go Ahead Eagles really bad, or it is just because they're called Go Ahead Eagles.
They're a great Eredivisie team, but I think they're there all the time, so who knows?
Yeah, I can't remember Eredivisie with Go Ahead Eagles not in there.
Yeah,
I could be so wrong. They could have literally just got promoted. I could be so wrong.
No, but I swear, a couple seasons ago, Ajax pummeled them like 8-0 or something ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Anyway, we can only really gloss over these next 2, but Jeremy Sarmiento, currently at Burnley. I will again chuck stats at you. Currently, oh no, that's Osman. Oh, wrong tab. He's got another number 7 shirt. 2 goals, 0 assists. Started 6, but he's also come on in another 8. So 14 he's played altogether with sort of like varying minutes. He seems to start a decent amount, and then he gets like your odd 15, 20 minutes here and there. Been used out on the left wing, also playing in the 10 sometimes. So Sarmiento's one where he impressed you a little bit in pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah, I think one thing that does impress me a lot about him, he's a very tricky winger. Like I would say he's got some good feet on him, and he's direct and will run at you. And I think he's done that in the few Burnley games I've watched when they have been on TV. I would say he has been direct, and I think he's got let me get the stats. Yeah, he's got 2.1 successful dribbles per 90. So
okay,
it's like the things that we did see flashes of in pre-season, we're seeing flashes of again, or not even
Yeah.
flashes. I know he doesn't play. He's played 7 out of 14, so I think the wingers at Burnley are actually pretty good. They've got Luca Koleosho as well, and
Yep.
can't tell you whoever the other guy is, but we need a Burnley crossover podcaster to do to tell us how
Well,
good he's been.
they better get promoted then, because
There we
at the
go.
moment we are not doing that.
But one thing I will say, he does look, just per 90 stats, they do look promising. And every time I've watched Burnley play, which might just be a few times, he has looked like a decent little player. Like, and I think he's still only 21, isn't he? 22. So there's still potential there.
In my opinion, at 22, you need to be kicking on there.
I think that, yeah, I do think that too. I feel like he should be. I mean, if you compare him to where Minter is, Minter's 20, and he's already well ahead of him in terms of getting regular minutes and in terms of starting for Brighton, even if it is only
and twisting up defenders.
Yeah, twisting up defenders like we just saw on the weekend. Exactly. So I feel like Sarmiento, I don't have as much hope for him being like a hidden gem for us. I feel like he's going to be a good player and one that we will actually make a profit on when he does come back.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
Gotta get that dollar.
Dollar bills, yeah. Anyway, stop speaking about money. And in the final segment after this quick ad from our partners at Zencastr, we will be hearing and speaking about the two players who me and Guerra think are going to be loaned out in the coming windows. We will see you after the break. Here at the Global Sports Podcast Network, we spent a lot of time selecting our delivery platform. Zencastr came out the clear winner. With 4K video recording from your phone and AI editing that automatically removes all those ums and ahs, it's super easy to start a podcast that sounds great and is delivered efficiently. If you're ready to tell your story, check out the link in the show description to learn more about Zencastr. And we are back for the third and final segment of this Wildcard Wednesday. I am with the Chief, Jamie G. So, Jamie, we're talking about loans out here. Our sort of own players that we want, player that we think is going to get loaned out in the near future. Who is yours, sir?
I don't know whether mine's going to be controversial or not, but
it definitely is going to be controversial. He literally splits the opinion of the whole fan base.
Yeah, and the whole fan base. I feel you just read Twitter and you see some fans love him, other fans fed up with him on so many occasions. And I started off the season so high on him, saying he should be starting every game. He's going to kick on this season. He's going to be a superstar. And he's let me down. I'm not like, he started off the season so well. And that man is Simon Adingra. I just feel every time he comes on, like, remember at the start of the season, he came on and we were like, oh, that's our superstar. That's our superstar. That's our super sub. If I can get the words out. There we go. That's our super sub. He's going to change the game every time we're low on energy and we need a difference maker. He'll come on, he'll perform. Ever since those first 3 games where he's come on and then come on, he's lost all energy. He looks like the energy's been zapped from him. We have not seen anywhere close to the level of performance from him that we saw in those early games. And he's a shadow of what he was towards the back end of last season. He came off the back of that African Cup of Nations on such a high with so much confidence. I think he was like one of the best players of the tournament. I don't know what that... I feel...
Didn't they win it?
Yeah, they won it. And I think he got young player of the tournament. I could be wrong about that, but I swear. And then he came to Brighton. Mitoma was injured, and he filled that void so well. He was direct. He was dangerous.
Off the left, though.
Yeah. And this is coming to my next point. We're bringing him on, playing him up right wing. We played him at right wing back to start one of the games. His best position's left wing. He couldn't be further from left wing if he tried. The only further away he can be from left wing is in the stands or out the stadium. How is that? Why are we doing this to him? He needs to go out on loan and get left wing minutes.
The left wing. Oh my god! Specifically, left wing minutes.
Exactly. Find a sorry little team that need a left winger, and Adingra can start. I would like him to be at like a Premier League level because he is Premier League caliber. Like let's say Southampton, they've got Tyler Dibbling on the right, they've got Adam Armstrong on the left. Bin Adam Armstrong off, puts him on Adingra there, and there we go. Problem fixed for two clubs. We've seen what Buonanotte's done at Leicester, and he's shone. Adingra can be the same.
Well, there were some rumours about potentially Arsenal coming in with a bid, because obviously Martinelli's been pony for like
they can have him to be fair,
like 16 months. But yeah, do you know what? I do agree. I don't think he'll leave on loan now. I think he'll go. If he's going, he's going.
Wow,
I think so. Yeah, and like for me, I don't want that to be the case. Like unless it's like big money, I don't want that to be the case. But like. Unless he like kicks on, then I can't really see much else. How do you loan out a player who you know is he can play at the highest level? So like it's quite rare that you see a player who is sort of at that sort of level where he's shown he can do it at the highest level, gets loaned out. That's why everyone's like, oh my god, M. Ferguson's getting loaned out. Yeah, and then start hearing about Celtic and Rangers. But. Yeah, so I tend to agree, but I just don't think he'll go out on loan. I think he'll go out.
Yeah, the only thing is, I reckon his market value is at a very low, like will be at the lowest.
Low.
So,
the stocks are not on.
Yeah, exactly. Right, do not invest.
Do not invest. No, invest in the dip. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's what you do.
Invest in the dip. Yeah,
forgot my guy's into stocks.
I'm absolutely not. So my player, this also might split opinion because I know that our fan base sort of doesn't really know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. He doesn't know what's going on.
No, yeah.
So Julio Enciso, that is my pick. I think he's. I was hearing through the grapevine, and I seem to have missed this on social media that he was twerking for a move.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
To who? I don't know. But, I mean, a player of that talent, probably one of the highest ceilings of all the young players that we have. Where is he?
Good point.
I've seen my dad more recently than we've seen Enciso on the pitch. And just for clarity for the viewers, I haven't seen my dad since I was about 9 years old. So I'm 26 now. Where is Julio Enciso? Free Julio Enciso immediately because he is in a Brighton prison right now.
Yep.
But he's got so much ability, and like throwback to that goal against Man City, even the cameo in the cup against
Liverpool.
Who did Matt O'Reilly get injured against? Crawley.
Yes.
Yeah. Throwback to that little performance there, unbelievable. Glimpses of special talent. Now he's in prison, mate. He's in the Herzler Penitentiary.
To be fair, you are spot on because this is mad. He's played more minutes for Paraguay in the last year than he has Premier League minutes. Like
that is insane, mate. How does that even happen? See, it is easy to play for Paraguay.
Yeah, good point. Yeah,
this come full
you don't even need to start. You don't even need to start, and you're getting in the squad for Paraguay. Easy peasy.
It's literally a free career. If you guys ever thinking about it, move to Paraguay, play football for a little bit, and you'll be absolutely fine.
Maybe that's why they brought in Diego Gomez. They brought in Diego Gomez to be Enciso's best mate and childminder, so he doesn't leave.
Childminder, they're the same agent, they.
1 year difference.
1 year difference,
Yeah,
brilliant.
1 year difference.
No, they're both going to be in prison. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's actually maybe Hertz just has it out for the Paraguayans. I don't reckon
Yeah,
he
he might
signed
do.
off.
That's
for
a
this.
mad statement, by the way. I don't
What a
share
niche
these views, by
country.
the way. Yeah, what a niche country. Yeah, but yeah, that's my one.
Yeah,
That's my
I
one.
back that one. Because I think, I mean, he is still. I think the problem is we have so many youngsters, right? That they're probably looking on. And you mentioned about him twerking for a loan move or a move away.
Just a move.
Yeah, just a move.
Played for 21s as well the other day.
I feel like, yeah, well, that's the thing. I feel like we have so many youngsters. He probably looks on and sees a Pedro start, a Ruta start, a Adingra get minutes, Minter get minutes, and he probably thinks
Gruder as well.
Gruder as well gets minutes. And he's probably thinking, I'm just as good as these lot and the same age. Like, we're all on the same kind of upwards trajectory in terms of we're only ever going to get better. If I can't get minutes now, when am I going to get minutes?
Hear me out. When you're in the penitentiary, actually, I should probably, because of what I'm about to say, I should probably rephrase that, but I'm not. When you're in the penitentiary, there's only one place to go. You know where it is. No? Do you know where it is? Marseille. That's where we go.
Oh, right. Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
I said it.
So you want him to go to Marseille, to be fair.
Yeah. De Zerbi loved him, mate.
To be fair, De Zerbi loved him, and they're actually cooking.
Yeah, no, that's what I was
I know
gonna
they've
say.
got a team of sus players, but they're cooking.
They've got a team full of felons. So let's yeah, and while
we don't want to get cancelled.
Yeah, we're so close. We're really teetering on the line here. But oh god, Ben, we might have to cut this out. Anyway, before we get ourselves in more trouble, this is the end. Let us know what you think about all of our shouts that we've made. Also, completely ignore the last 2 minutes of this whole podcast. Erase it from your brain. And yeah, we will see you for a crossover on Thursday with Crystal Palace, the big one. We will also see you on Friday with a preview to Crystal Palace, the big one. And until then, yeah, just let us know. Who do you want to see go out on loan? How do you think the loan players are doing? Do you want to hear us talk about any more loan players? And we will obviously get on that straight away. But I've been Joe Richardson. You've been joined by Jamie Garrow. Garrow, say goodbye.
Ciao, ciao.
And we will see you in the next one.
Hey.
Every club, every day. The Global Sports Podcast Network.